There's something about driving at night that sends a chill through us. The way the trees lean a little too close, the way the road seems to narrow down to nothing but your headlights, how they stretch ahead, seemingly into never-ending darkness. Somewhere in your mind, a question might surface. What if something is out there, watching, waiting, just off the shoulder, in the darkness? Welcome back, spooky souls, to another episode of Let's Talk Spooky. I'm your host, Shauna, and tonight we're hitting the road. Well, soon actually. I will be taking you along with me on a cross-country adventure this summer. And don't worry, the chilling tales won't end. Each week, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the spookiest locations throughout the Canadian Rockies. And while we're there, we're going to hear about some of the most haunted locations and some of the darkest legends that have come out of the deepest parts of the wilderness. From haunted hotel rooms to ancient woods with monsters, there'll be no shortage of creepy stories to look forward to. And if that's something you want to hear more of, click that follow button wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you have your own spooky tale or lore about the area, I definitely want to hear from you. It could even be featured on the next episode of Let's Talk Spooky. So leave a comment and send me an email because I love hearing from you guys. Since our adventure is on the road, I thought what better way to start Let's Talk Spooky Road Trip edition than taking a midnight drive through some of the haunted highways, cursed curves, and those long empty stretches where shadows and maybe more might be waiting at the next mile marker. So buckle up, lock your doors, and let's talk spooky. There's a road in New Jersey that locals warn you not to drive after dark. And it's not because it's dangerous, at least not in the natural hazards type of way. But the road does have a way of speaking to you on a primal level, reaching in and finding those fears and turning them into something that feels wrong. Clinton Road is only a 10-mile stretch, 2-lane strip of highway cutting through the woods of West Milford. Along the stretch, there are no houses, no streetlights, and no cell signal due to the dense surrounding foliage. But it's what happens to people along this empty stretch that has kept the road in the whispers of locals for decades. There are a number of tales. I picked a couple that I found were probably the most chilling, but I do encourage you to venture into maybe the Reddit world and dig a little deeper into what they might have to offer. One of the more chilling tales is Ghost Boy Bridge. According to local legend, if you pull over to the side of the bridge late at night, preferably around midnight, and you drop a coin in the water, something strange might happen to the coin. It may come back. Some say you'll find it either lying on the bridge where you're standing, or if you return to your car, it may just be sitting on your hood, waiting for you. Others say if you hear a splash, you may hear another sound, tiny little footprints, bringing your coin back up from under the bridge. The legend goes that a young boy once fell into the water while playing along the edge of the bridge. No one agrees exactly how or when it happened, only that it was an accident. But there are a few local whispers that believe it could have been something darker. Either way, his spirit still lingers there, People who have gone looking for Ghost Boy Bridge have reported seeing tiny wet footprints on the pavement that surrounds it. Others talk about hearing a faint splash from the water below, but the water's still when they look down. And a few say that they've seen someone standing just beneath the bridge, motionlessly watching them. A child-sized figure with vacant dark eyes. If you travel down this road, it becomes a bit of a rite of passage for anyone brave enough to throw a coin off Ghost Boy Bridge. So, if you guys are brave enough, please tell me. And if you've tossed a coin, also tell me. I'd love to hear your stories. We all know that not all spirits scream for the attention. Some just wait in silence, maybe by a water, maybe hoping that somebody sees them, or stays around to play, just for a little while. But Clinton Road is renowned for more than just its local legends. And tonight, we're going to cover one that was very, very real. In the summer of 1983, a man was riding his bike along Clinton Road when he came across something truly horrific. As he pedaled around the bend, something caught his attention off to the side. Near the edge of a tree line, he spotted a green garbage bag, tore open by animals, and inside the bag was a badly decomposed body of a man. Police were called immediately to the scene, and the body was taken to a local morgue, where it was later identified as Daniel Dempner, a local man with connections to criminal gangs within the New Jersey area. What was strange about this case wasn't Daniel himself, it was the condition of his body. Though his external body was badly decomposed, his internal organs were in much better condition. When the autopsy was conducted, the medical examiner found ice crystals had formed in the blood vessels near his heart, suggesting that whoever had killed him had froze his body after death and only dumped it there days or maybe weeks before it was found. It was a technique that they believed were meant to throw off investigators by obscuring the time of death, making it harder to locate where he was and who he was with. His death was eventually connected to serial killer Richard Kuklinski, who allegedly killed nearly 15 people between 1980 and 1984. Over the years, locals have shared the story of the incident, but have renamed Daniel as the Iceman, and his story is one that has now been attached to decade-long legends in that isolated stretch of road. Clinton Road has a hold on people. Ghosts in the creek, phantom trucks that chase you, and dumping grounds for some of the most sinister acts. Locals even say that once you drive down the road, you never truly forget the feeling it gives you. Like something's watching, following you all the way to the end, and patiently waiting for your return. Now, Clinton's not the only road that holds shadows. There are tons of highways that have dark history, dark pasts, legends, and ghosts of their own. So if you're ready, let's head somewhere overseas. Clinton Road isn't the only road that shadows linger on. There are many highways and back roads that hold dark pasts and ghosts of their own. And our next road? Well, it comes with its own warning. This one says, you shouldn't stop, no matter what you see. Let's go now to Federal Highway 44, located in central West Mexico. Most people who drive this seemingly normal highway during the day don't think twice. But at night, it's said that something sinister walks its edge. Locals call her La Mala Hora, or the evil hour. And the name alone has been enough to make drivers take the long way around. Seeing her isn't just bad luck. It means something darker is coming for you. Reports are rarely the same, and everyone who comes upon her at night sees her slightly differently. Sometimes she can appear as a woman dressed in black or white. Her hair could be covering her face. She could be disheveled looking, almost like a hitchhiker. Or she could appear breathtakingly beautiful, her long dark hair flowing down the back of her neck. She can be seen standing at the road or in the darkness of crossroads. But when she moves, those who have seen her reported that it's almost as though she's drifting, and that the darkness around her is stretching her in unnatural directions. But it's what happens when you catch sight of her, or more, when she catches sight of you, that becomes truly terrifying. Locals say that if you stare too long, you can't look away. That sighting her has corresponded with drivers reporting loss of time, hallucinations, and visions of demons. And when they finally come to, their hands are no longer on their steering wheel. Or they may have headed off the road completely. The legend states that Lama Hora only appears when death is close. She's not the bringer of it exactly, more the announcer of its arrival. Either you are next, or someone you know and love. In the older versions of stories told about La Mala Hora, she's known to possess travelers, especially those who wander on the side of the road at night. If you are driving alone, many have reported a shadowy figure jumping on the roof of their car, clinging to the back of the windshield with razor-sharp claws. Others say she's appeared inside the vehicle as well. They've glanced in the rearview mirror to find a woman with a distorted face staring back at them. These stories come from people who say they have found cars off the side of the road, with the people left inside's faces twisted in terror, though having no visible injuries. Some roads warn you with shadows that linger a little too long. Some take their time, or take time away, and leave you wondering if they were truly there at all, or if you were losing your mind. But our next road doesn't leave you scared in the same way as the others. This road leaves you heartbroken for what never got to be. This is Bluebell Hill, located outside of Kent, England, and if you find yourself on this lonely stretch of road at night, there's someone who might try to cross in front of you, drifting like smoke through your headlights. On November 19th, 1965, 22-year-old Susan Brown was driving home with her two friends, Judith Lingham and Patricia Ferguson, after what was supposed to be a carefree bachelorette night. The next morning, Susan was meant to be married, but unfortunately she never made it to the altar that day. The car they were driving was involved in a devastating head-on collision on A229 near Bluebell Hill. Susan herself died 5 days later in hospital from her injuries, but her two friends that were in the car along with her were killed instantly at the scene. This was the kind of tragedy that leaves a mark on a community. But as all heartbreaking stories do, it didn't take long for sightings of spirits to start spreading. Not long after the accident, drivers began reporting strange encounters on the same stretch of road. They claimed to see a young woman in white wandering alone roadside at night. Reports said the woman would often appear in distress, sometimes waving cars down, only to vanish when they stopped to help her. In some cases, people believed they had hit her. One of the most infamous accounts came in 1974 when a man contacted the police insisting that he had struck a woman on Bluebell Hill. Authorities searched the area thoroughly, but there was never a body discovered. No injured person, and no physical evidence that a car had hit anything at all. Over the years, the details of the story evolved, as most stories do, taking on a more ghostly appeal. In several reports, the woman is described as getting into the car, often requesting a ride home. She'll give an address, but just before reaching it, she'll vanish. Drivers are left confused and visibly shaken. Some say the woman wears a white wedding dress. Others describe her in simpler clothes, soaked from the rain, and eyes that don't quite focus on what's around her. But the central details always generally stay the same. A young woman appears where no one should be, and then disappears without a trace. What's unusual about Bluebell Hill's story is how well known the documented origin was. Most vanishing hitchhiker legends are hard to pin down, but this one had a story. This was a real woman and a real accident and real loss for her families. Whether it's a residual energy of a life cut too short, a community's grief that transformed into a legend, or something more supernatural, the road does hold on to a memory that seems to replay itself over and over. As recently as between 1990s and early 2000s, drivers have come forward with similar experiences, even those who had never heard of the story prior to visiting the road. Locals will warn you still, don't drive Bluebell Hill at night, and if you see a woman, keep going. So would you travel down this lonely road? Have you ever? And if you did you ever stop for anyone? Our last lonely stretch of road is not really a road, but I wanted to add it because it transitions us into our next few weeks of exciting adventure. On a lonely back logging road located in the Rocky Mountain foothills of Alberta, not far from the popular Ghost Lake recreation area, lies the Ghost River region, a place as eerie as the name suggests. The terrain is rugged, the pine forests cling to hillsides, and long, narrow roads twist around a riverbank. It's remote and isolated, and the story suggested that it might not be entirely empty, though. The Ghost River is called this not for the reasons you might think. There's no wandering brides or tragic accidents. Its name comes from knowledge, from something much older and much deeper that is said to walk along the water's edge, waiting. To the Stoney Nakoda people, the land around Alberta's Ghost River and Ghost Lake is more than just a forest, stone, and riverbed. It's sacred. It's remnants of a place where the living and the spirit world overlap. According to traditional oral stories, long before settlers arrived, this was the site of a great battle between the Nakota and their traditional enemies, the Blackfoot. Many lives were taken in the battle, and the indigenous people of the area believe the land still remembers the blood that was spilled there. Legends say that the spirit of both tribes linger, caught between worlds, patrolling the riverbanks as guardians or lost souls. The Nakota people believe that the spirit world is not a faraway place, that it's layered over ours, like a reflection, So in a place like Ghost River, that layer is thin. It shows a mirror of the past. Campers and hikers have told stories of hearing faint sounds of drumming in the distance, though no one's around, of sudden fog banks that rise from nowhere, the feeling of being watched, especially near dusk, and in some cases, hikers have even reported seeing a lone figure at the water's edge, clothed in what looked like traditional indigenous dress. When campers tried to approach the figure, it seemingly fades like mist into the river. Most commonly reported anomaly is the sound of distant voices against the wind. They're not screams of battle, but they're conversations, too faint to understand, but clear enough not to dismiss as natural sounds. And perhaps there's a reason for that. Long before the place was called Ghost River, explorers had called it Dead Man's River. Not out of fear, but in recognition of what they had seen. According to indigenous stories and early accounts from the Posler expedition, the cliffs above the valley, particularly Devil's Head Mountain, once bore the skulls of fallen warriors, bleached white by the sun, lined along the ridge like warnings. The elders of Stony Nakota have passed down stories for generations that spirits of those who fell along the riverbank have never truly left, that their remains are bound to the land, not out of malice, but to hold memory of what was fought for. Locals say the fog carries their presence, that the riverbank holds their reflection, and that when the wind turns cold without warning, it's not a temperature shift, it's the veil thinning just enough to remind you that you're not alone out there. So if you find yourself standing below the cliffs at dusk, and the wind starts to rise around you, and you think you hear voices, you might. So from winding highways to remote river valleys, tonight we've followed the path treaded with stories, some whispered over generations, others shared by drivers still gripping their steering wheels. Thanks for riding along on this haunted stretch of highway with me. Don't miss our upcoming Summer Haunted Rockies series. We will be covering stories of ghosts, creatures of legend, and maybe an abandoned location or two. So until next time, keep your headlights on, check your mirrors twice, and if someone appears on the roadside, maybe ask yourself, are they looking for a ride, or are they trying to get back home? So as always, stay safe, stay curious, and stay spooky. This episode has been written and produced by me, Shauna. If you have your own eerie tale or hometown haunting you want to share with us, email us at letstalkspookypodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't yet, follow us over on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Talk Spooky. I'll see you in the next video. Stay spooky.